Welcome back, adventurers, once again to Let's Play Biohazard 3 Real Survival. In the last episode, Carlos Oliveira ventured out into the Raccoon Hospital in order to try and find some form of a cure vaccine for Jill Valentine, as she is still infected by the T virus. Entering the hospital showed that it was overrun by the T virus and as well as zombie patients, no surprise to Carlos or myself. Unfortunately, what was surprising was the fact that the zombies are the least of our concerns in the hospital. The hunters have returned, and they're as lethal now as the ones during the mansion incident, which is going to be fun. And by that I mean the exact opposite. Now, Carlos did manage to pick up a tape recorder, which we can use to access the voice lock and hopefully reach some of the other floors, since most of the area downstairs seems to be blocked off by the shutters. But we also found the diary of the director of the hospital, not to mention his corpse, which is right there leaning on the table. But in any event, the timeline of the T-virus pandemic seems to be much earlier than we anticipated. I'd originally thought that the T-virus outbreak had actually begun a few days before the 25th, where the T-virus supposedly had started getting into the city proper, and then by the 28th and 29th, Raccoon City was pretty much overwhelmed by the T-virus. But according to the director's diary, the infection started right around the beginning of September, well over 18 days ago, in fact. Probably nearly even a month. Now, of course, the director's neck has been devoured from the inside out, probably chewed from behind by one of the other zombies. And of course, the director wrote in his final entry that he himself was also transmogrifying into a zombie, much like the other staff and the patients. Anyway, we need to keep moving. Nothing in that locker. Is there anything in this one? No, but there might be something in this locker that appears to be open. Aha! Handgun bullets. 30 of them, wow, that's going to be good. Going to be really good. Save some ammo for the assault rifle so that we can deal with the hunters. Let's check on this bulletin board and see if there's one of these flyers has anything useful on it. We get closer. Ah, the hospital map is pinned here. Excellent. Yeah, unfortunately we can only access only a small portion of the hospital. Probably a good idea, since the other rooms are probably overrun as well. And we're limited in our supplies as we can possibly be right now. Looks like the only floors we can access are aside from the first floor, is the fourth floor and the basement third floor. There we go. We can only access those three floors. It's a bit hard to say. Can't really look outside. Probably don't want to in any event. But in any case, we have the means to activate this lock, although we have to enter the voice in quite soon, otherwise the lock will reset itself. Luckily we have the tape recorder.
There also appears to be a slight fracture in his right arm just below the elbow. However,
Rather interesting diagnosis, but at least the voice name recognition worked. The elevator is open. Hooray. In we go. Of course, before we can use the elevators, we have to shut the doors. And we can either choose to move to the 4th floor or the 3rd basement floor. I'm going to go to the 4th floor first. Hopefully we're not going to be ambushed by anything as we do so. Oh god! Nope! Nope! Oh my word. Oh, that's bad. Die. Any more of you out there? Oh, yes, there are. Oh my freaking word. No! Okay, that definitely terrified the hell out of me. Yeah. There were definitely zombies on this floor as well. Unfortunate. Luckily, didn't sustain too much damage. That was an inevitability. Now there is a door over here, level 401. I'm going to examine this room first. Because we might get ambushed by enemies, which would really be bad. Oh my word! Oh! Get outside. Okay, looks like this is a job for Mr. Assault Rifle. There are some more of those worms. And while we do have a first aid spray, I really would not want to have to use it. Are we quick about this? Gosh darn it. Well, that was annoying, but nothing we can do about that. I'm actually going to check this corpse of this unfortunate doctor here. A doctor's body. He's holding a slip. The number's 104 are printed on the slip. We're definitely going to have to make a note of that. 104. Because it's relatively easy to remember. Something else on the bed. And something else here. Nothing in the sink either. But now that I think about it, this corner here seems quite different. Something seems to have been placed here. Well, the only thing I can see currently placed in a corner happens to be a small filing cabinet. Doesn't appear to be anything else, though. I wonder if that means something. Probably does. Nothing else there. Also note the Umbrella Corporation, the UBCS logo on the back of Carlos's jacket. There is nothing more to do here in this room. So on to room 402. But, well, since we were in room 104, or 401, that is the reverse of 104. So that's a good mnemonic to have. I probably just butchered that pronunciation there. Indeed I did. And room 402 is locked. Which means we're going to have to find a key. To room 402. Is there anything on this board here? Be careful not to overuse the medicine, which will definitely result in an overdose. Overdoses are to be avoided. Yeah, this hospital has definitely seen better days, but hopefully we can find something in here that might hint at a possible cure for the T-virus. Apparently this room is marked data room. Could be useful.
Don't shoot! No! Nikolai? You're still alive?
You saw what happened.
What's going on?
I'm one of the supervisors. That's all you need to know.
What do you... Wait!
Well, there was a fine turn of events there, ladies and gentlemen. Turns out that Sergeant Nikolai Zinoviev somehow managed to survive the attack at the sales office. Unfortunately, he has escaped. It is too dark to see anything outside. Yeah, our suspicions of Sergeant Nikolai were not unfounded. And of course, Jill knows this better than anyone because, of course, her relationship with Captain Albert Wesker, the leader of the STARS unit, who in fact was a proxy for the Umbrella Corporation inside the unit. Of course, he attempted to betray them for his own ends, but made a gruesome end at the claws of the T-002 tyrant. And Nikolai mentioned something about the supervisors, of which he was one. The supervisors, to put it bluntly, they're plants within the UBCS that actually know the truth about what's been going on. I mean, sure, the Umbrella Corporation did brief the UBCS on the nature of the T-virus and even supplied them with antibodies to try and fight the infection. But of course, saving the citizens of Raccoon City, although that was the UBCS's mission statement, the reality is that the lives of the people of Raccoon City were far from being Umbrella's top priority. In other words, the supervisors are here to oversee the UBCS's role in the quote-unquote experiment. In other words, they were just pawns. And this poor fellow over here is another UBCS mercenary slash supervisor by the name of Tyrell Patrick, who has also pretty much met the same end as both Murphy Seeker and Mikhail Victor. Yeah, I think Nikolai did not want the other supervisors to report back to the Umbrella Corporation with their findings. Maybe like Albert Wesker, he seeks to gain for for his own ends. But of course, he, like us, actually has to survive Raccoon City, because he's just as stuck as we are right now. Unfortunately, we can find nothing on Tyrell's corpse. But there are some virus-related notices on the table here. Nothing we can actually use, unfortunately, due to the grenade. It has definitely done a number on this, on that part of the room. Um, is that something on the table there? Oh, it is! More handgun bullets. Excellent. Make up for the ammo that we've been using on the with the assault rifle. It appears to be a book on general medicine science. Unfortunately, that's not going to help us much. Is there, just have a look at this desk here. It's the way we came in. Nothing of use on the table. Is there anything on these cabinets here? There doesn't seem to be. Alright, let's keep moving. Nothing on that bench. But there is something here. Oh, also there appear to be unknown creatures soaked in formalin in this chamber here. Luckily, they're all being kept in very tiny jars. Although it seems like there was more than just curing the patients that were being conducted here at the Raccoon Hospital. Then again, considering who actually runs Raccoon City, that's not really a surprise, because the hospital, much like the mansion, the police station, and the vacant factory on the outskirts of town, are all fronts for Umbrella's viral genetic research. Now this is something that we need. The sick room key, which is going to be very useful. Because I'm pretty sure that this is the key we need to get into room 402. And indeed it is. It has the tag. And another photo. Photo D. The zombies are walking. Yeah. Those faces will be forever burned into my nightmares. And my memory. It says the effect of the T-virus on the back side. As if we didn't already know that much. More strange things, but we have the key. Definitely have the key. So now we can get back outside. By outside, I of course mean out into the next room. Be wary of any other ambushes. But we can now make it into room 402, because we were in 401 earlier. There we go. And as a result, we can get rid of the secret key. So let's see what's inside room 402. It appears pretty much the same as sick room 401. Doesn't seem to be anything in particular that we can use with. Although there does happen to be a cabinet curiously placed in the middle of the room. It's more of these corners which seem to need something to be placed on them. Now, is there anything in the drawer? No, there is not. Now, the only other different thing in this room appears to be this painting mounted right here on the wall. Arklay Mountains. Yeah, this certainly brings back memories, ladies and gentlemen. The very same Arklay Mountains on the outskirts of Raccoon City, where the Spencer estate, the old mansion, was located. Of course, the mansion went up in a smoke of fire thanks to the self-destruct sequence. And unfortunately, as a result, the Stars actually lost much of the evidence that they actually needed. The evidence, of course, being the T-virus strains and the BOWs being kept there as well, including the T-002 Tyrant. But if they didn't destroy the mansion, then there was a very real possibility that the infection would continue spreading into Raccoon City. But it seems like that eventuality, as evidenced by the director's diary, has unfolded regardless. I hope we never have to go back to Arklay. As terrified as I am of Raccoon City, I'm even more terrified of Arklay. Being out in the primeval wilderness, that is something that I'm not looking forward to. Now, starting to think that this cabinet here might be part of a puzzle. And thinking logically along those lines, it wouldn't actually make sense to have the cabinet on this side, because the drawers are where Carlos is facing right now. So if we push them into the corners here, we won't be able to use the drawers, and that would actually be a bad thing. In other words, it would make sense. Let's push the cabinet not too far into the wall. And chances are I'm going to get the puzzle wrong, but Carlos, push. There we go. You move the bell, you can definitely move a cabinet. Let's try moving it over into this corner. And that was an electric shock, which means that puzzle didn't work. Huh. Maybe there's some sort of clue to that puzzle in 401. Let's go back and have a look. At least we don't have all those pesky worms, creatures, whatever they are. Though, it's probably a good thing we got rid of them because they would most likely grow up into that gigantic worm creature that Jill had to face. And, huh. So the bed is facing this way, and the cabinet is facing the bed. Huh. It's a good detail to note. We're starting to see how this particular puzzle unfolds. Huh. So, room 402 appears to be a mirror of mirror image of room 401, which means that we need to move the bed out here, or not the bed, the cabinet out here. But this time, put it in the other corner. But still have the cabinet facing the correct way, because otherwise it would be rather silly to have the drawers facing the wrong way. Let's push the cabinet over here. There we go. In precisely the mirror image of the room next door. And of course the Arclay painting has fallen off, but oh well, it's not like we're ever going to be seeing that particular painting again in the near future. And lo and behold, there was a secret compartment with a safe concealed behind the painting. It's locked with a number-based lock. Now luckily, we looked at the slip on the doctor's corpse in room 401. So we have the code. Luckily it's fairly simple to remember. 104. The safe is now open. Hooray. The vaccine base. So the doctors here did manage to work up some form of cure. Of course, they probably didn't have enough time to actually test it, given how virulent the epsilon strain was. Core material used to create the vaccine. It needs to be mixed with the vaccine medium, which we're going to have to find. And guessing that we're going to have to go back down and go even further to the basement 3rd floor. But probably should have stored the ink ribbons in the reception desk, but that can wait for another time. So when we return adventurers, we'll probably do just that, and then we'll head on further down into the third basement floor and try and find out where the vaccine medium is located. As always, adventurers, until next we meet.